Y'all want me to talk about Clive Davis? Okay, let's do it. But I'm telling y'all right now, this story already took a turn that I was not expecting. So Clive Davis.
You guys want me to speak about Clive Davis, so I will. However, I must warn you that this story has already taken a direction I did not anticipate. Clive Davis is no longer with Arista, which is no longer with Diddy's Bad Boy Records. According to rumors, I discovered that I could be drawn to a guy while still being extremely attracted to a woman boss. And that man's name is Clive Davis. It is said that Diddy went down on his knees for Clive Davis in 1994, which is how Bad Boy Records came to be. Clive was abused by his mentor, Wells, who also liked to dominate others. This is perhaps why he likes to manipulate and control people, even if he doesn't operate his own power. Mentor Clive Davis, who just lost his job and released a ton of data indicating that similar to Jeffrey Epstein, Diddy Puff Daddy has been operating a sexual blackmail operation in the rap and music industries for about 30 years. According to the lawsuit, Fahim Muhammad, Diddy's head of security while running the ring, was Michael Jackson's head of security when the singer was just 21 years old. Burl, the tea is piping hot right now, and you won't believe who's spilling it. The music industry's Clive Davis, can you believe that legend, who is often as quiet as a church mouse, has broke his silence and revealed Diddy. Clive is now ready to speak after all these years, and the rumors on the street are that he has some real dirt on the bad boy box. This is the music business bombshell that we've all been waiting for, and because Clive and Diddy go far back, you can be sure that whatever he's about to divulge will be juicy. Everyone is wondering what Clive may say to make Diddy shake his head in anticipation of the tea being delivered and the intense heat. Did he murder Whitney? Where might go? You've already seen my nails, so this is what I'm going to say about the whole thing. I know that a lot of people don't want to talk about it because it's directly related to Clyde, and I don't really care. They said that I was blackballed, but I can't be any more blackballed than I am because Clive Davis knows exactly who I am and who he is. It's common knowledge that Clive aspires to be a black woman, as evidenced by the fact that he constantly surrounds himself with black women. The last time I attended a party at his house, my ex-husband was present, and he made crude comments about my husband in front of me. Consider his list of key players, including Arha Franklin. Houston, Whitney, Angie Stone. Wow, everyone kind of forgets about Angie Stone. Before Alicia Keys, Angie Stone was setting record after record of gold records. Then Alicia Keys comes along, so you tell okay, so I do know because I heard about it like in his biography or whatever. And you tell me like, no, he really is a bisexual. He's a queen. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. Most queens want to be black women, so he's like, yes on the wow, but I'm not going to bite my words to say that. The night before the Grammy Awards, the __ hit on my husband right in front of me. I was like, yeah, via __ mind. I didn't get many invites back from any of them, so I went to the Power Grammy parties and hung out with them. While the one thing I will say about Clive is that he is extremely obsessed with upholding the brands that he creates, and he will do whatever it takes to protect those brands. You see, the women he works with are like dolls in his mind. He runs every second of their lives. The only person he has never really done that with is Artha Franklin, but that was a different era. The reason he was somewhat more modest back then was because he needed Artha Franklin to become Clive Davis. Everyone enters the game needing to make their bones. He made his with AA. And what a guy to make your bones with real hit now that everyone is looking to him. Well, you ain't got no option. Clyde is aware of the singers. In fact, it was AR who knew the singers and introduced them to Clyde, who is aware of the singers. However, they don't discuss this, so you have to understand that by the time Clyde took over, he had already been a part of her life for almost her entire life. Yo heavy, let's talk about Diddy's ascent to the top. This man went from being an intern to running the show faster than you could say, bad boy for life. Diddy was working hard, making moves, and shaking up the game. He had his hands on everything from producing to rapping to starting his own label. And Clive Davis was by his side, supporting him the entire time. These two are best friends and collaborate closely to create magic in the studio. But as you may know, behind-the-scenes drama occurs just as much as it appears. Hold on to your wigs because the story is about to get even more juicy. The streets have been talking about the secrets and scandals for years, but no one wanted to spill the tea until now. Clive and Diddy may have appeared to be the ideal power couple, but trust and believe there were some serious conflicts occurring when the cameras weren't rolling. Diddy's rise to the top was no exception. He was making big moves and even bigger enemies. But what really went down between these two titans of the industry? What could Clyde possibly say to make Diddy sweat like a sinner in church? The streets are claiming that Clive Davis has receipts. You won't believe the bombshells he's about to reveal about his time spent working with Diddy. This is the kind of tea that has the potential to completely alter the game. What precisely did Clive witness behind closed doors, and what does it all mean for Diddy's legacy? It's going to be a crazy journey when the truth is exposed in Part 5, so stay tuned. Perfect pitch and harmony. They could fill a whole church without the need for microphones. I'll tell you what, though, Whitney Houston will submit to Kim Clark in every way. I mean you, Kara Clark, Kara Clark. In an instant, she would bend down and say, "Oh my God, Karen Clark. Oh my God, are you going to think I'm crazy? Oh, that's Kay's mother. Wow, I had no idea who Kiera was in your generation, but I did know that her grandmother, Dr. Maddie Moss, was the gospel gangsta because that's how they portrayed her. My husband told me that they didn't do it right in the movie, saying that she would literally take off her shoe and throw it at you if you were off on the note. Oh, but your parents told you that because they remembered that because they sang in the state choir and the choir. So yeah, so it's like you gotta look at who Houston is it when it comes to that because nobody has been able to bridge the gap between the gospel community and the secular world. A beast, so if you're that kind of beast, why wouldn't you listen to your mother? You're going to feel like, my mom knows what she's talking about. She's a leg, period. And this is all before now. If you watch the movie and hear the story, she was getting hooked on cocaine at the same time that life was going to be a whirlwind. And before she knew it, she was the biggest thing ever. I don't even think she knew she was going to be that big, but Clive knew he had been planning it for a while. The entire setup of the Griffin show was done by Murr, and she did, well, I believe it was Johnny Carson, who was white America, yes, black on that show, oh. Michael Jackson, for example, was a true legend who once had a late-night television show. He was also David Letterman before David Letterman, so that brings us to Whitney. Her life is now a whirlwind. She is constantly on tour and hardly has time to think about what her priorities are in her personal life. Money, 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 I will tell you when I stopped having any real respect for Clive Davis, which was when he forced her to dissolve her marriage and separate at home. Bobby